Hi guys, so Nadhim Zahawi, the Education Secretary, was sweating a bit in an interview on the Breakfast Show about Owen Paterson and the corruption scandal. Now, this is the second time the Education Secretary was thrown under a bus by the Tory leadership. The first time was when he attempted to defend Paterson. Now he's trying to ignore the whole thing. Now, the journalist Adam Fleming asked a wonderful question. So you voted on something without reading it? Watch how the minister ties himself up in knots in an attempt to answer the question.
You read the Standards Committee report into Owen Paterson and his case. It's very clear what they think. It's very clear what Owen Paterson thinks, which is the opposite. Whose side are you on? Who's right? Owen Paterson or the committee?
So look, as far as Owen Paterson's concerned, he's now resigned. The Standards Committee...
Well, that doesn't matter, though, because it's still the issue.
I'm going to get to that. I actually haven't read the report, so it would be unfair of me to go through.
So you voted on this without having read the report?
No. Hold on a second. Just bear with me a second.
No, it doesn't work like that. You voted on something without reading it. So you said, this report, I can't accept this report. I'm going to vote against this report. In a sense, you know, the vote was against the report, undermining the report, saying the report was not valid in a sense. So how could you vote against the report without reading it? Obviously, he did not read it. He was voting down party lines. He received his orders from above. Vote against this. And he said, yes, of course, I'm a member of the party. I do whatever the party tells me. It doesn't matter whether I read the report or not. That's irrelevant.
Second, right? I've looked at the report. I haven't gone into the details.
I've looked at the report, but I haven't gone into the details. Now, this happens quite often. We've seen it when it came to Boris Johnson's oven-ready deal. Tory MPs did not read it, the withdrawal agreement. They didn't read it. When it came to the TCA, the trade deal between the European Union and the UK, Tory MPs didn't read it either, but they voted for it. You know, what is the point in having an MP vote on something if they haven't read it? And it doesn't require them to read the entire report, but at least have the summary of it and know what it's about. Obviously, he has no idea what's contained within the report. I looked at it, but I didn't read it in detail. Really?
Owen says that much of it is contested, right? I think something like 14 people have sent statements that it's contested.
14 people have said that it's contested, and that was enough for me to say, yes, I'm going to vote against it. Just apply this to anything in your own life. People tell you, don't do this. And there's a report that could actually tell you the consequences if you did this. And you say, I'm not going to read the report, or I'm not going to read the article or whatever that would inform me. I'm just going to go on whatever somebody else said.
That is a specific case. The Standards Committee have judged on that, and Jacob Rees-Mogg came back to the House and said, we will have a vote on that this coming week. Of course, events have overtaken that because Owen is now resigned on this. The important thing to focus on is that we want a process that carries the confidence of the nation.
How could the nation be confident in something that was presented? The party realized it's one of our guys who are going to go down. We're going to defend our guy. And then the backlash from the public is we don't have confidence in the government now. We don't have confidence in Parliament. And your response is, okay, let's do a backpedal. Let's do a U-turn.
That is right, because MPs of all parties should have the right of appeal.
The right of appeal was not a question here. He was supposed to be suspended for 30 days. He could have appealed it himself. But you stepped in and... Look, if he really truly believed he should appeal this, then why did he resign? Of course, he was asked to resign by Boris Johnson and the leadership because it was embarrassing for them. And of course, Boris Johnson is concerned with these types of committees because they could start looking at him next. And it would be very interesting to see how much money Boris Johnson has received from people, where this money has come from, how much was handed over to him, what he has given in return. You know, we know that most of the members of Parliament especially on the Conservative side, the one in government, are taking money from every Tom, Dick and Harry. You give money to a politician, it's like an investment. You know, you invest money in a politician and the return on investment is substantial. Much better than investing it in bonds or or in the stock market or anything like that. No, invest in your local Tory MP and you'll win a PPE contract, or you'll win a contract to provide computers to schools. It doesn't matter if the computers are any good or anything. You will win that contract. That's how it seems to work. Give money to your local MP. It has to be a substantial amount now. We're not talking about a few £100. We're talking about minimum £10,000, and you'll win a contract. But £10,000 spent results in million, 2 million, even more than that in return. I don't even know how you calculate that as a return on investment.
I'm surprised you voted on something really important that you hadn't even read.
No, I said to you I hadn't gone to the detail of his...
Okay.
I haven't gone to the detail. Once again, he's grasping at straws here. He hasn't read the report because he was told how to vote. That's how it works. We've seen it before, as I've said, with the withdrawal agreement. The Tory MPs didn't read the withdrawal agreement bill. They just voted because they were told to vote that way. When it came to Boris Johnson's agreement with the European Union on trade, the Tory MPs didn't read what was contained within it. They weren't actually allowed to. The government stopped them from doing that. Parliament, the Tory party stopped the Tory party from reading Boris Johnson's bills. Think about that for a moment. So maybe the minister here wasn't able to read the report. Well, actually he was, but his party wouldn't have wanted him to read it. They wanted him just to vote on it.
You asked me who he's contested it.
Okay.
So I'm trying to say to you...
Fair enough, okay.
What he contested, right, is something... I can't stand here in front of you and say, I know all the details of the 14 statements that have been made.
But you voted on it. You didn't know the details, but you voted on it. Then why didn't you abstain? If you didn't know what was contained within it, then you abstain. If you don't know how to vote, then you don't vote. But obviously he voted because he was told how to vote. This is how democracy works. This is how Parliament works. The party decide and the MPs go along with the party. Sometimes there's a free vote, but generally they're not going to contradict their party because they get punished. They're supposed to represent their constituents. They're supposed to be there to represent the people who put them there. But they're not. Well, actually, I'm wrong here. They are, because the people who are putting them there are giving them huge amounts of money. And they're turning around and scratching their back. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?